Hi, grade 6. I'm sorry, this is grade 7, and it's lesson 4-6. It's talking about scale drawings and models. Scale drawings and models. There's a number of things we got to talk about here, but let's get started by looking at a problem. Coratown, Kendallville, Josiahtown, Maxtown, and Owentown. Imagine this is a map of a particular part of the world with these locations. And now down at the bottom it says scale equals 1 inch for every 50 miles. 1 inch for every 50 miles. And imagine I wanted you to figure out the difference or the distance from Owentown to Maxtown. Owentown to Maxtown. How would I do that? Well, first I'm going to measure the distance. And, the distance is about 5 inches. 5 inches from Owentown to Maxtown. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a proportion. And in that proportion on the left side, I'm going to use this scale. 1 inch, 50 miles. Okay? I'm always going to put the scale on the left side of the proportion. Now, we know that from Owentown to Maxtown on the map is 5 miles. Or, I'm sorry, 5 inches rather, 5 inches. So I'm going to put that 5 inches right here. Do you think you can figure out how far in real life it is? Should be pretty easy. If you said that Maxville and Owentown are 250 miles away, you are right. X in this case equals 250. Okay, now let's take a look at Maxtown and Josiahtown. Maxtown and Josiahtown. The problem isn't going to be much different. We're still going to use the scale of 1 inch to 50 miles. See that? But now, the distance between Maxtown and Josiahtown on this map is 2 inches. Where do you think we're going to put that 2 inches? On the top or on the bottom? Well, it's got to go on the top. We're comparing inches to miles and inches to miles. So, with that in mind, how far in real life is it from Maxtown to Josiahtown? Wouldn't it be 100 miles? You betcha. Let's do the next one, only I'm going to do it slightly differently. How far is it from Josiahtown to Kendallville? Josiahtown to Kendallville. And what if I'm not going to tell you this distance on the map? Instead, I'm going to tell you the real life distance. Can you predict or tell me what it would be on the map? If I told you that the real distance between Kendallville and Josiahtown is 150 miles, how can I use this proportion to solve the problem? Well, we're doing 1 inch over 50 miles. That 150 has to go on the bottom. 150 miles. Now, if we solve for x on the top, we should know how far it is on the map from Kendallville to Josiahtown. Do you got the answer? If you said 3 inches, you're right. And if I measure it, let's see if it is actually 3 inches. Yep, 3 inches. Finally, what if we're talking about Coratown to Kendallville? Coratown to Kendallville. And what if I told you that Coratown to Kendallville is, on this map, 4 inches? How far is it in real life? Well, where am I going to put the 4? 4 inches has to go on the top. Inches to miles, inches to miles. Solve for x, folks. What's x going to be? It should be 200, right? 200 miles between Coratown and Kendallville. That's some of the work we'll be doing for today. Some of the work we'll be doing for today. Let's talk about something else. When your book asks you to find a scale factor, what in the world are they talking about? Well, let me show you. Let's imagine somebody gives you the scale of 1 inch equals 50 miles. Actually, we're going to start easy. Let's just make it 1 inch equals 50 feet. When they say take this scale and turn it into a scale factor, What they're really doing is they're saying, hey, I want you to have the same label on the top and on the bottom. Well, I hope you know that 1 foot is how many inches? If you said 12, you're right. So if 1 foot is if 1 foot is 12 inches, then 50 feet has to be 50 groups of 12 or 600 inches. Do you see what I've done? This ratio, the scale, 1 inch to 50 feet, I've now churned it into another ratio that's exactly the same as this one, but it's got different labeling. It's got inches to inches instead of inches to feet. And believe it or not, 600 inches is exactly the same distance as 50 feet. So I changed the scale into a scale factor. Okay, let's do it again with a different set of numbers. What if I was given the scale of 1 inch equals 16 yards, and somebody said, change that into a scale factor. 1 inch is equal to 16 yards. So what do I have to do? Somehow I've got to figure out how to change this amount of yards into an amount of inches so that I have inches over the top of inches. Well, do you know the relationship between inches and yards? The relationship is that there are 36 inches to every 1 yard. So really, this is 16 groups of 36, isn't it? 16 groups of 36 inches. If I can figure this out, I am pretty close to finishing this problem. And when I do the work, I get 576. So this is my scale. 1 inch equals 16 yards. This is my scale factor because I changed it so that the labels are the same, inches to inches instead of inches to yards. Make sense so far? Let's try another one, because scale factor is not necessarily the easiest thing. What if I wrote on the board, I had a scale of, how about 1 inch on a map is equal to 1 mile in real life. 1 inch on the map is equal to 1 mile. This is going to be a doozy, but not too bad. It's solvable. So I'm going to write 1 inch over the top of 1 mile. And my goal over here somewhere is to have 1 inch over a certain amount of inches so they share the same label. That's what scale factors do. Well, what do you know about a mile? I know that 1 mile is 5,280 feet. 1 mile, 5,280 feet. And we know from a previous problem that every foot is 12 inches, right? So if I can take 5,280 times 12, that's going to be the amount of inches in a mile, isn't it? Yeah. 5,280 groups of 12 inches is going to give me my amount of inches in a mile. So I'm going to solve this problem, see what I get. I get 63,360 inches. So 1 inch over 1 mile, that's my scale, but 1 inch over 63,360 inches, that's my scale factor. Hopefully that makes sense to you all out there. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.